But jumping right in, I just want to say, like, I'm really excited for us to speak again, because last time we spoke, I just really resonated so much with, our last conversation, and I kind of walked away just feeling like it was a breath of fresh air. So I'm really excited just to like open up this space again and really hear some more gems, learn some more gems from you, and share them with the world. So
yeah, I was driving mountains of Colorado.
Yeah.
In Colorado, and it was just so crazy. But yes, I really enjoyed that call. Wow. And now I just feel nostalgic thinking about it, because it's my first time in Colorado. So I was like doing the interview, but then I was also driving. That snow. I'm from Texas, so we don't get no type of snow. Well, at least where I'm from in Houston. So I was like, wow, it was like a lot to take in, but it was a really common experience. And then just like being on the call with you, being able to talk about certain things that had already been on my mind anyway. It was just kind of like it was really less of an interview, more like a therapy session. So
it was so peaceful. Like, I don't know, it was just really cool. But it's good to see you again. And congratulations. First, let me start off. Congratulations on the remix. It's blowing up everywhere, literally like everywhere. So I just want to say, like, I don't know. First of all, you guys ate, like, literally devoured, left no crumbs. How did that collaboration come about? And like, what was it like doing the video together with Flo Milli?
Well, first of all, thank you for congratulating me. Congratulations to you as well. I believe this is for your website, right? So this is for your own. I'm proud of you. That's freaking amazing. That's really awesome. And I just love flourishing and like not necessarily stepping away from corporations, but feeding into, like, pouring into their own dreams, their own businesses. I really love to see, Black women watering themselves. So I'm really proud of you, and I'm excited for you. So congratulations. I just want
Thank you. No, honestly, that really means a lot. Thank you so much.
Of course. But working with Flo Milli, she was a dream. She's like the dream feature, literally. If I had to, like, think of all the characteristics of somebody that I would want to work with, she fits the criteria perfectly. She's sweet, she's loving, she's hardworking, she's genuine, she's very patient. Like, all of those things are very difficult to come by, because those are things that I struggle with. Just, becoming an artist and stepping into my artistry. You have to be very patient, and you have to know how to work with people around you. And Flo was very, very, very sweet. She was really patient. We actually shot the music video on like a month before the actual video that you saw. We shot a music video, and we were shooting for like 22 hours literally. And when I got the final copy of that video back, I hated it. I was like, why? It sucks. Like, I can't. Let me not say it sucks. There's no disrespect to the director and the people who shot it, filmed it. No disrespect to them, but it just didn't fit my vision. So when I saw it, I was like, wow, we're gonna have, and I immediately told my team, like, y'all, we're gonna have to reshoot this, or we just gonna have to put the song out without a video, because I can't put this out. Like, it's not, it's not consistent with my brand, basically. Yeah. And like, okay, cool, we can reshoot it. I called Flo, and I was like, girl, I know you don't want to hear this, but I got the music video back. I didn't like it, and I want to reshoot it again. And she was totally down. She came to the video shoot, which was like a month later, which was also like a couple of days before my birthday. She came to the video shoot.
Forest gang.
Are you right? Yeah. She came to the video shoot. She was very patient. She was full of energy. It was as if we had never even shot the first video, because she came with that energy, and that was something that I really appreciated. Not once was she annoyed, irritated. I was annoyed, irritated. Right. And she, girl, whatever you need from me, I'm there, I'm down. And I really appreciated her for that. So
yeah, no, that's honestly amazing, because it's like to have that support, and then also for you to just take your artistry, so be passionate about it, and not settle for something that you're not happy with, is also really great. And for her to support that is even better. So And it's actually crazy because I remember you posted, I think it was an IG reel or a TikTok, but it was a little while ago. It was a clip where you kind of started off. It was you starting off doing like smaller shows and smaller venues, and then it transitioned and showed you down to like packed stadiums, literally like fans chanting, chanting, your lyrics, and it was just really, it was an inspiring video for me to watch. I know for so many others to watch, but we're really excited to see like what's next musically. What are you working on right now? Are there any songs in particular that like you're really excited about releasing, or any new sounds that you're kind of like excited about right now?
Yes, so like my next three songs are songs that I personally really love. Sometimes when I work, because I'm one of those people, even though I am independent, I really value the opinion of the people around me, like the people on my team. I really do value their opinion. So sometimes they might really like a song that I may not be, because I wasn't really that crazy about We Not Hunters, but
Oh, really?
right, but they
Yeah,
like. I got a good response just when I posted it to social media. So I was like, okay, that's the next song I'm going to pursue. But these next three songs that I'm getting ready to put out are songs that I personally really love, really confident in, really strong about. I hadn't gotten a feeling like this since whenever I recorded my first song, Beat Down Your Block. So I'm really excited for these next few songs. I'm excited for the visuals. I'm just excited to really show my creativity. All these, like some of the songs I produced on. I created the video treatment, so I'm directing the music videos. So I'm just really excited for my creative juices to flow and really for the world to feel where I'm coming from personally. So I'm super excited about these next three singles I'm getting ready to put out.
Yeah, so we are all excited. And actually, speaking of videos, I literally was about to say, like, so your two videos that you did, I think one was for like Suck It Up, and the other ones was Girl Outside. I feel like a lot of your videos, not just those two, but a lot of your videos have this really cool like Y2K aesthetic where it's like glamorous, but a lot of bling, a lot of pink, like just really, it's really amazing. So, and it's always entertaining to watch. It takes me back to like the old school days of videos when like it really told a visual story in like more than one way. So just curious, like you're gonna step into more of a creative direction role with like your other videos, and did you work as a creative director in your other videos as well?
Yes, so yeah, I definitely did work as a creator because I'm very hands-on. Like I'm very particular about my vision. So anything that you've seen be put out, that was my idea. That was my doing for the most part. And then, like I said, I get opinions from like people on my team, and that's pretty much as far as it goes in terms of like other people putting out my music.
Gotcha.
But for the other music videos, I didn't intentionally, like, I didn't mean for it to be like the Y2K vibes. I think maybe in the Beat Down Your Block video, I wanted to pay homage to Houston culture. And I think it definitely did translate as early 2000s, but that's when Houston really dominating. Like in the early 2000s, we had Paul Walker, in the 90s too. So that's when they were really dominating. So I guess it was really like, in my attempt to pay homage, it translated as Y2K, which is nothing wrong with that. And then same kind of with Suck It Up almost with the two-piece set. But I really just I just love suits, sweatpants, like full lounge wear. And so that was really the vibe for that. And then, like I said, it just translated as 2000s. And then with the Girls Outside music video, we were kind of paying homage to Waiting to Excel, the movie. Oh. And so that old feel, that old good feel with the house phone and the stereo and all those.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because Houston during that time period was like very heavy on the music scene. So heavily, we just, and it still is now, but like sometimes we just associate like Y2K. That's like Houston style. It was exactly at that time, but it's really dope to see you pay homage to where you're from and kind of like really just embrace your roots. And I think I actually was going to ask you, because I feel like I'm from Philly originally, and we do a lot there's like certain things that we do in Philly that you only can get in Philly. So it's like Rita's water ice, going there on the weekends, getting a pretzel, like getting water ice. Is there something in Houston that like it's really just like only a Houston thing? I know you guys have like the Houston rodeo, right? Or yeah, like
yes, yeah, rodeo every year. It's usually around spring break. And there you get all of the Texas delicacies. I wouldn't even say it's just Houston, but really just Texas culture is so rich. You can get, you know, we have the funnel cakes, we have fried everything, fried cake, fried Oreos, fried pickles, everything fried. So delicious. So yeah, we have that. We have our own little delicacies. We have Kool-Aid pickles out here.
yes.
We have like different food spots that I also want to shout out. Esther's is a really good food place out here in Houston. Auburn, Mickey's. We have a lot of black-owned soul food spots out here that the Houston natives really love. Lotus Seafood, Seven Spice Seafood, good, you know, like those types of places. Right. You know, you could just see people riding horses in Third Ward. Like that's just their thing. Like they just will ride horses on the street as if it was like a regular car. Like they just ride. We have something called La Fay Day. There's a beautiful girl out here. Her name is Nunny La Fay, and she has every year she throws herself like a block party style thing, and people rent out. They rent these ATVs. They rent these bikes. And they literally just take over the whole, there's a street called Market Street. They take over all of Market Street. And it's really amazing because she's super young. She's 22, 23. So it's amazing to do that. We have different Houston artists out here that have their own celebrations for themselves, like O&B Bulletbath, Trey the Truth. He has Trey Day every year. So we do have our Houston traditions, and I love it. I really love being from Houston because our culture is so rich, and we're really contrary to what people, you know, say about down south, with the exception of Atlanta. Houston is really supportive of one another. I would definitely say that the people in Houston definitely embrace me and are very supportive of me, and vice versa. I'm very supportive of, you know, people in Houston, and I embrace them, and I try to, you know, pay it forward. Yeah. Like how they, so I love being from Houston. I really do.
No, I can tell, and it shows up a lot through your artwork too. And it's just really nice to see. So, and it's kind of nice how you match creatively. You match your visuals and your songs to that, like Houston influence.
Exactly, because you know you want to look back. Something that's really important to me, and something that I'll try to explain to my team. I want people to be able to look back at my music videos for references. And I want people to be like, oh, you remember that Monaleo video from 2021? You know, 10 years, 10, 20 years now. Like, I want to be able to create my own work. So that's really cool.
And it definitely is. It's already like so impactful. So actually, I forgot to wish you congrats on the documentary that just came out with Tidal, which was just, I watched it on YouTube actually, at the clip of it on YouTube, and then I watched it more extensively on Tidal. But it was just really powerful and really wonderful. What was it kind of like filming and working with Tidal with that?
So it was a really amazing experience. Most of that footage, actually, I had already been recording before Tidal was ever in the picture. So it was just me and a videographer out here in Houston named Brent that I work alongside. And we had been documenting things, documenting my first shows, my first out of town shows. Like, he was just really there from the beginning. So Tidal was able to utilize a lot of that footage that he had already captured. And then just doing the interview with them, it was a surreal moment because, you know, Tidal is something that a lot of music artists just strive to be a part of. Like, it's a huge music platform. So being involved with Tidal in any way, shape, form, or fashion is, you know, it's a blessing. So it was a really satisfying experience. And it was a really beautiful documentary. The way that they cut, even though it was me talking, like the way that they were able to cut and edit certain, you know, pieces of footage, it was really, really, really inspiring.
Yeah, no, it really was. Like, I was definitely paying attention to like the editing, the voiceover, and really your message. Like that's what really stood out. And one thing that's especially stood out was, you said in the documentary that you wanted to be your music to be able to capture every facet of yourself, which, I thought was wonderful because that's something I think we're all striving to do during this like human experience that we're having. We're all striving to kind of have the freedom to be fluid and to show different facets of ourselves, especially now where we kind of live in this our generation, I would say, where you go on TikTok and online, sometimes you see people trying to like having a tendency to box people into like fitting into one type of aesthetic that kind of defines them or acts making them act in a certain way that they'll be perceived as one sort of person or type of person or aesthetic. So I think it's really great to kind of like see a new artist who is veering off of that and going against the grain. What would you say are some of, I guess in that same note, like what would you say are some of the different facets of yourself that you think maybe the world doesn't see as much as, or which facets are you like currently developing in your artwork?
I would say it's not necessarily what the world doesn't see as much as for me personally, but just from artists in general. Like I really want to advocate for artists and just basically just explaining to people that I'm a human being before anything, like before a rap artist, before a woman, I'm a human being. And so I want people to kind of keep that in mind, because I feel like sometimes they start to idolize people that they really love and they really look up to and really admire, and I find that very flattering. But they also like when you idolize people, you kind of you put them on this pedestal that basically is saying that they aren't able to feel regular emotions, that they don't go through real things. They just assume that you have it all figured out or that everything in your life is perfect because of whatever. If you're, they just think, oh, they're financially stable, so they can't possibly be having any type of issues. But obviously that's not the truth. And even when you acquire more money, like you acquire more problems, and that's a real true thing. Like you start to fall out with your friends. So I just want to be very candid about that so that people can identify me as a human being before they start to idolize me, or because I feel like what's the word I'm looking for? Not be idolized, but just like they look at you as if you aren't a human, right? Or they just look at you. They just look at you as if you aren't human. And I feel like enough people already do that with Black women. Doctors do that with Black women and Black people in general. Like there are a lot of people in this world that already look at Black women as if they can't feel anything. And I just think very negligent, because you don't even allow people to have space to go through whatever it is that they're going through. Like you don't allow it, it's not a safe place, I feel like. And so I want to constantly reiterate to people that I'm a human being, I'm a person, I feel things, I get mad, I get sad, I get angry, I get happy, I get, I go through all of these different emotions, and I want people to be able to accept me for that. Like I don't want to be the polished, put together artist, or I don't want to be, another thing I always say, I don't want to be like the top selling artist, the highest selling, highest charting. I don't even want to be a part of that, because I see what it comes with, and I see a lot of beautiful, wonderful, successful Black women that are torn apart limb for limb once they start to reach a certain stature, and it's just a very overwhelming feeling. And so I just always try to, I just always try to explain that I want that to translate through my music, and just some of the real, I just want to humanize myself, so that and I feel like when you humanize yourself, it is a lot more it can be a lot more relatable to certain people. Like people, when they see their favorite person, like I feel like when we see Beyonce going through things, or when we saw Beyonce going through things when she put out her Lemonade album, I feel like that was really inspiring for me. Even though I was young, really young at the time, it was inspiring to me, because it was just like, wow, she's a human being. And I'm sure it was inspiring for a lot of other Black women who had gone through similar situations that she did. And so it was just like I said, just humanizing yourself and being candid, open, and honest, letting people know I'm a human being. I go through the same things that you go through, but I'm able to find this creative outlet and I can get through to the other side. That's my most important message, I feel like.
Right, and that's what I feel like is the most important message, because it does get lost a lot of times with when people have this like celebrity and like stan culture where they just no longer see like the artists as humans. But it especially happens to, like you said, Black women particularly. So that's something for me that I always try to emphasize, because it even doesn't just happen like with Black celebrities, but also just like Black women, like you said, on a daily, in hospital rooms, in every space that we show up. So
exactly,
it's
we need protection. We need to be protected, and that's just the bottom line. And there's nothing wrong with declaring that. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I feel like we, as Black women, we should be protected.
I definitely agree. And another thing that you mentioned in the documentary, you said that you felt misunderstood because you felt like people were trying to like put these labels on you. And I personally, of course, I feel like every Black woman related to that on another level. And there's actually this podcast that I listened to where they said people who are often misunderstood, especially women of color, who maybe don't fit in their surroundings or just feel misunderstood by the people around them, are always the ones who shine the brightest and kind of go on to like do really impactful things and change the world. Because even if they don't see their own light and they have, you know, people around them who might be coming in their circle, they can see their own light, and the people they come in contact with recognize the natural light within them that really shines so bright and is authentic and kind of like positive to who they are. So
exactly,
you know, and then you have two sides, like when you have people who may be bitter or hateful to see that light, and they kind of become envious and want to find some way to dim that or like make you feel misunderstood and put those labels on you and kind of like box you in. But then you have the other half of people who see that light and want to help magnify it and make it shine brighter, because they also might have like a special sort of like uniqueness or light within them. So I was just wondering if you have, I guess, anyone along your journey or along your journey in general, who have you been able to connect with people who have been able to help you magnify that light?
Yes, most definitely. Just different people in my life. My grandmother is one of those people that I feel like has really gone out of her way to magnify my light, not just to the public, like not to the public, but in private. She genuinely builds me up. She waters me constantly. She constantly calls me to check up on me and make sure that I'm doing okay. Both of my grandmothers do. And that's something that I really appreciate. And that's something that keeps me grounded, because she was the one who, just from the very beginning, believed in me wholeheartedly. She would sometimes pay for my studio sessions if I couldn't afford it at the time. And she didn't have to do that. So she's definitely one of those pivotal people in my career. I feel like that she's just helped. She worked as like a catalyst. Like she really did help me see my own light and see myself in the light that I deserve to be shown in. Same with just different artists that I've met along the way. Flo Milli is one of those people for sure. There's an artist by the name of Dre Bay. He's one of those people. He's amazing. He's like one of those. He waters me constantly and genuinely. Leilani is another person. She's an artist. She waters me as well. She's amazing. I think and Dre Bay and Leilani are both Tauruses, so I think we just
Taurus gang. Yes.
I met so many people along the way, and my team was also supporting the team. The people around me, they water me constantly. They constantly remind me, because when you deal with anxiety and depression, you tend to second guess a lot of the things that you do, and they constantly remind me and constantly reiterate, "You're amazing. You're awesome, you're beautiful, you're talented, you can do this." Like, it's a very possible thing for you to do, because sometimes I just get very overwhelmed and I feel like, wow, I can't do this. And they're like, no, you can do this. You've been doing it, you're still doing it, and you can continue to do it. So I've met a lot of amazing people, and those people alone strengthen me, and they really do. Them pouring into me is something that's so important, and it's something that I really appreciate, and it's something that I would never take for granted. Same with the people who just support me, who don't know me or who have never met me. They water me, they pour into me, and they constantly reiterate to me that I'm capable. And so I'm appreciative of anybody that I've come in contact, whether it would be an Uber driver, or, you know, somebody that I've known for 10 to 15 years. Like, I appreciate anybody that I've come in contact with that just has been genuine with me and genuinely uplifted me.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's beautiful that your grandmother and so many others were able to like be a support system. And it's rare that you come across it, but it's always good when you interact with somebody on the street or like anybody who just cross paths with, who just has that great energy and really is a genuine support. So I do want to go back to something that you mentioned a little bit earlier in the documentary, just going back to that. I think you mentioned you started off doing self-funding, right? For your projects. And I know there will be a lot of up and coming artists who are watching this who might be like, I really have this idea for a music video or for a visual project, but I don't really know where I'm gonna come up with the budget to make this come to life, because, you know, music videos are expensive, production is expensive, and if you're just kind of starting out and you don't really know anyone in the space, you don't know like videographers, it might be a little bit difficult at first. But what financial tips would you give to them, those who are watching, about, you know, how they can self-finance and take themselves to the next level?
I would say save up your money. Make sure that you have enough for your bills. I did something very risky, and I don't think it was the smartest financial decision that I made, but it ended up paying off. Just to speak on what I did personally, I quit my job, and I had $1,000 saved in my bank account, and that's when I quit my job. I don't know if I should have. Well, I should have done that, but I don't know if that may not work for every single person, and so I don't want to be the one saying, "Oh, quit your job right now," because you still need to support yourself. You still need to house yourself, feed yourself, clothe yourself, all those things. I would just say, if you're serious about your craft, if you're serious about your business endeavor, whatever it is that you're getting ready to go into, if you're serious about it, put forth 110% effort, whether that be sacrificing getting your hair done, for paying for art supplies if you want to get into painting and you have to buy these canvases and paintbrushes and the acrylic paint. So, you know, sacrifice a couple of things if you're serious about it. You know, maybe skip out on eating out, maybe skip out on going to the club. I know it's fun. I know I enjoy having a good time with my friends, but maybe some of those things you can skip out on, and you'll see that in the end it'll pay off. Because, like I said, I feel like the universe really does grant people who are forthcoming, but people who are who put 110% into whatever it is that they believe in. So yes, I believe in manifestation, but in the same breath, you have to work towards the things that you are trying to manifest. Like, I can't, you know, say, oh, I want to have a six-pack, and I'm in the bed all day.
Right. And just making efforts towards it. Yeah.
Declare it, put it out there in the universe, and then you put forth the effort, and then you continue putting one foot in front of the other, and then you're gonna look up, and it's like, wow, I really did that on my own. And that's one of the experiences. So that's just my advice. Go 110%, sacrifice a couple of things, because in the end, it will end up paying off.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely the biggest thing, is investing in yourself and not being afraid to really take a chance on yourself. Because if you don't take a chance on yourself, then when is the next person going to do it?
When is the person going to do it? If I didn't take myself, you know, and a lot of people just off the gate, they want to sign to these major labels, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to invest in yourself before you expect someone to invest genuinely into you. a lot of these record labels will approach these young independent Black creatives, um, because a lot of they really kind of target, and this is no disrespect to any, you know, record label, anything like that, but they will target sometimes these younger Black creatives, circumstantially challenged creatives, and kind of prey on these people. And because, you know, everybody loves Black art, everybody loves the contributions that Black people have made to art and music and literally everything else in this world. They prey on these young people and they say, oh, well, I have $100,000 for you. Come sign to my record label. I'm going to invest in you. I'm going to blow you up. I'm going to do everything that I need to do for you. And it sounds too good to be true, because a lot of the times it is. You know, there's a price that you pay for signing over the rights to your art, your artistry. Like, there's a lot that you sacrifice when you sign over your art and your creativity to these people who mishandle it. A lot of the times they don't really appreciate or value it. They just see the monetary value in it. And so I said all that to say, invest in yourself first, build up that leverage, so that if you do decide to sign to a major label, if you do decide to sign with a bigger corporation, whether it be modeling, whether it be, like I said, making music, whether it be painting, whatever it is, before you decide to sign over to the big corporation, make sure that you have your leverage built up, your experience, and make sure that you know what you're talking about when you go into these spaces, because they're already looking at us as the minority. They're already looking for us to be uneducated. They're looking for us to not know what we're talking about. So they are oftentimes intimidated when people like me go into these spaces and I go and sit down at these meetings and they expect me to just be a young Black girl, which I am, but they expect me to be more naive and more just cavalier and nonchalant about things. But they quickly realize this ain't that. Right. I know what I'm about. I just know what I'm talking about, and you can't pull the wool over my eyes. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that's really important, going into these spaces and knowing what you know, like knowing that you know what you're talking about, because you don't want to be. The biggest thing I feel like for people when they sign to these labels or when they sign over to these bigger corporations, they don't know the legal jargon. They don't know, like, a lot of the things that are being said. They don't comprehend. They don't understand. They don't understand these contracts that are being handed over to them. And a lot of us can't afford good lawyers. In the beginning, lawyers are expensive. If you know, you know, lawyers are expensive, period. So, boom, we get caught up in these situations where we don't understand what we're reading, we don't understand what we're signing, and these labels understand that. They know that, and that's why they prey on, you know, they prey on people who they feel like, okay, well, this is going to change their life. So let me hand you this piece of paper, and you know, let you sign it over. Let you sign over your life. Let you sign over your soul. And then I'm going to take off and do whatever I want to do with your art and with your creativity and mishandle it. So, said all that to say, know what you're talking about, go in these spaces and do your research. Yeah. Do your research. We have Google, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. We have so many different social media sites where people are pouring this information out for free. It's free, it's accessible. Do your research on whatever career path you're getting ready to go into, read up on it, know what you're signing up for, and know if that's what you really want to do. And if you decide that's what you really want to do, then go for it 110%.
Right. And I feel like you just touched on something that it's been on my mind heavily, especially since like the Young Thug and Gunna situation where they're like using their lyrics against them in court. And it's so crazy because Black art, I just feel like no other genre would have to go through that. You don't see rock lyrics being used in court. You don't see rock lyrics, you know, you don't see
country lyrics
at all. Literally. And it's crazy. It's just crazy because I feel like Black art, like you said, is always demonized. But then you also have to look, thankfully, like Young Thug and Gunna's label, like Kevin Lyles, I think he took the stand and defended them. But a lot of artists aren't so lucky. Sometimes, like you said, they get into these predatory deals with labels where they're taking advantage of them financially and all these other aspects. And then when they get into trouble or when something happens, the label's just kind of gone with the money.
The label is gone, girl.
Yeah. It's really a mess. So.
It's sign of 50 people who look and sound similar to you.
Right.
So you aren't, unless you're the top selling, top charting artist at that label, you aren't a priority, and that's just what it is. And people don't want to hear that, but that's just the truth. That's just what it is. And a lot of these times, sometimes these labels will go so far as to put life insurance, like to take out life insurance policies on these artists because, you know, the artist may be involved in whatever it is they have going on.
See, I didn't even know that. I did not even know that.
It's true though, and that's something that, oh God forbid.
That is so predatory. Like that is literally the definition of predatory. Like
that's art, but they don't value Black people. Right. So they take out these life insurance policies on some of these artists because they know, okay, he's a troublemaker, or he had a trouble, past, or he has a criminal history. So let me take out this life insurance policy on him in case in the event that something is to happen, because I want to make sure that I'm covered. It's just the same. It's the same thing as like a job, like a corporation. You go to your 9 to 5.
Sure. Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about you being sick. They don't care about you needing to take days for yourself. And if you were to die, if you were to die on a Friday, your replacement will be in by that Monday. And so I need people to
Friday. Like it's crazy.
I really think Black women, Black men going and like just having their own practices, having their own endeavors, their own businesses, because we can really value and appreciate ourselves because we bring a lot of value, and we don't always, not saying it's a bad thing, again, just to reiterate, but we don't always need to sign to these bigger corporations, especially if they aren't going to value us and our artwork and what we have to offer.
No, seriously. And I feel like the Black dollar is literally the most powerful dollar.
The most powerful, girl.
The most powerful. Like if you look at all these corporations who try to get money from Black communities and other communities, that like it's really, we can go deep on that. But that's why I really said you and what you're doing was staying independent and just like supporting Black businesses, and you as a young woman advocating in those spaces for yourself. I think we need to see more of that within the industry, and I think that hopefully it's changing. I think it's changing.
Exactly, we need more of that. We definitely need more of that. I hope that I'm not trying to intimidate these companies. I'm not trying to intimidate these labels. I'm not trying to intimidate other artists that are signed to labels. That's not my job. That's not the motive. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just being myself. I'm being myself, and I'm staying true, and I'm sticking to my morals, my core values, my beliefs. I'm sticking to my guns, and that for some people can inevitably be intimidating because it's like, wow, this is a girl who's young, she's powerful, she's sure about herself, she's successful, she's talented, and I can't take that away from her. And it's like, and I'm not
here. Like that's literally what they hear.
I just want to make sure that I put out information that I feel like people can benefit from, because I was in that position where I was getting ready to sign a deal, and this is before Being On Your Block had even come out. So what the fuck was I signing for? What even know
what is this giving?
That's what made me realize, like that's what made me wake up, because it was like, you don't even know I can sing, I play piano, flute, I can produce, I can creative direct. You don't even know any other things about me. You just saw me on social media, like doing my little thing, lightweight, like less than 10,000 followers, and here you are offering me a contract for $100,000. Let me wait it out. let me just let me milk it. Let me milk it the same way that these labels and these corporations would milk me. Let me milk this situation and see how far I can take it. And then that was the initial thought. And then I start realizing I can do this on my own without having people standing over my back, without having to answer to anybody. I can do this on my own. I'm powerful enough. I'm strong enough. I have a strong enough willpower. I'm disciplined enough. I'm talented enough to be able to do this on my own. And I want other people to know that you are talented enough, strong enough, disciplined enough, if you declare that over yourself, to do it on your own. You don't have to sign over your life to these businesses. But like I said, just to reiterate for the last time, it's not a bad thing. Signing to labels is not always a bad thing. Like, I get to a point where you've done all you can do independently, and then you want to take it to the next level. But then by that point, you've already built your leverage, so you can really make the contract if you wanted to. Like, I could, if I would really wanted to sign, I would present them with a contract. Like, this is what I want, right? As opposed to having them present me with a contract. I would just be like, this is what I want, give it to me or don't, because I'm doing my own thing. And I think that was the biggest thing for labels. Like, I think that was the biggest reason why I was so sought after at a point in time. And I literally turned down record labels from all of these major labels. But at the time, they were just like, wow, she's really moving, and she really has the same traction as most of our artists that we have signed to our label. We want this girl. Who is this girl? We want her. We want her. We want her. And like, no. I'm still doing my thing.
No, it's about knowing your worth. Like, you have to know your worth. And I just feel like
I don't know your worth.
They just saw numbers. They just saw numbers. They don't really see artists. Like you said, they didn't know you could sing. They didn't know anything about you. They just saw the viralness, the numbers. And it's like, that's how they view so many artists. And, that's why I'm glad that you're advocating. And I'm glad that a lot of people are going to see this so that they can know, like, like you said, it's not a bad thing. But just make sure you're set up right. Make sure that you have
the correct way. Exactly. Make it the correct way.
I know we don't have, we have like a little bit of time left, so I'm just gonna like shoot through the rest of the questions. But the next part of the show is just, everyone knows that I think last time we spoke about this, but I'm very into spirituality and healing. And so what you've been vocal about, it's something that we talk about all the time. And every time I meet with artists, if they're comfortable sharing their journeys, I always talk with them about, their healing journeys, because so many of us walk the same journeys without even realizing it. So this part of the interview is just kind of going to be like a little podcast about, tips for inner work and self-care that we can give to our viewers. And I see you all the time. I think it's called Shower Talk. Yep, I see you all the time on Shower Talk. I love watching it because, one, I'm a big ASMR girl, love ASMR. And two, I think it's helpful for so many of us watching who also have like self-care routines to share new products. So, those sort of shower routines are the physical aspect of self-care, but I'm curious, like mentally and kind of emotionally, what are some things that you do to pull yourself out of those sort of like dark spaces that we all can get into?
So one thing that's really important to me, like since I've become an adult, since I've become a young woman, a young human being, an adult human being, since I've just gotten older, period. Right. I've been wanting to heal my inner child. So like anything, because I feel like growing up, I had a very difficult time getting acclimated, and I'm not sure what it was, but I'm grateful for it because I'm glad that I was never able to integrate, and I was never able to just really fit in, and I couldn't for the fucking life of me understand why am I not, like, what is different? What is so different about me that is unable to fit in with these groups, like unable to fit into these peer groups at school, or unable to mesh with my family? Like, what is it about me? And I feel like I ran into a lot of different problems, and I feel like that caused me to be very misunderstood because people just didn't really understand me. I didn't even understand me, so I had a very difficult time explaining to people who I was. and I kind of let everybody put these labels on me. So part of growing up and just healing myself, I wanted to unpack all of those labels that were put on me as a child, and I wanted to remind my younger self that that's not you. Like, because I never quite the labels never really resonated with me. Like, people would say that I was stuck up sometimes. I never felt like that. People call me dingy. And by people, I mean like people in my family. And it's, they were not saying that they were, right to do that. But I understand, maybe kind of not, but it was just like, they would call me. It's like, how am I dingy?
I don't even see how they could get that. Like,
I graduated at the top of my class when I was in high school. I was class vice president. I got accepted into all these different schools, and I just couldn't understand. Dingy where?
Yeah.
Dingy where?
But then you realize it's people projecting onto you. It's like all of that is projection. It's
a very long time to realize that people were projecting, because I really internalized a lot of these insults that people would say to me. And as I got older, I had to unpack those things, and I had to dissolve certain labels that I would always say about myself, just because I heard people say it about me. It wasn't necessarily true, but I would repeat it because it's just like, okay, this is what they said, so it has to be, it's their observation of me, so maybe it is true. And it's like, no, it was never true. It was never true. So satisfying my inner child, a lot of the stuff around me, I used to love pink growing up, so obviously everything in my space is pink because I have control over that. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about that music has been able to grant me control over my life, because I feel like I've grown up and just not had a lot of control over the shit that was going on around me. Things that were done to me, I didn't have control over. So now that I do have, I'm getting control of my life. Everything in my space is pink. Everything in my space is Hello Kitty, because I love Hello Kitty. I love Barbie stuff. That's what I love growing up. So it's in all of it's everywhere. It's a constant reminder to me to continue to heal my inner child. I'm able to, simple stuff like I tend to do this thing, which is not necessarily a good thing, but it also isn't a bad thing either. I buy things in bulk. Like, I buy a bunch. Like, I have a bunch of soaps. I have a bunch of bath stuff. I have a bunch of shoes, bunch of clothes. I buy a bunch of stuff because I remember growing up not being able to have access to a lot of the things that I really like, and I feel like that's why I wasn't able to express myself fully growing up, because we just didn't have the funds for the things that I, to just really indulge in the things that I like. So now I tend to really take care of myself, and I don't tell myself no a lot of the time, because I feel like I've been told no a lot already. So if it's within my power, within my means, and it makes sense at the time, financially, whatever it is, I'm gonna get it for myself unapologetically, without any shame. Because I feel like a lot of people around me they try to shame. Like, once you start to make a certain amount of money, just candidly speaking, once you start to make a certain amount of money, they try to shame you into like, oh, well, they just try to shame you for certain things that you purchase, certain things that you buy that satisfy you. Mm-hmm. Or they tell you that, or why did you get that? Like, why do you have all this? So you don't need it, or and they might be right.
Determine whether you're worthy of it or not.
Determine whether you are worthy of certain things. And it's just like, the bottom line is, I work for this stuff, and if this is what I want, then this is what I feel like I deserve, then what's wrong with that? They try to pull black women, try to quiet black women, and not even just like people online who don't know you, but it'll be people in your own family or inner circle who will try to shun you and try to diminish you and try to dim your light, because they act like they're used to a certain version of you. But now that you are a different person and you're stepping into your true purpose and you're stepping into your true light, they're intimidated by that. And so they have a lot of opinions when it comes to the things that you do and say and how you live your life unapologetically and not harmful to anybody, but they just have an opinion on the way that you live your life. So the biggest thing for me with self-healing is just doing things my way unapologetically, so long as it isn't hurtful to the people around me.
Yeah.
and hurtful or malicious or ill-intended. Like I never do anything maliciously, never do anything with ill intent, because that's just not a part of my makeup. I don't know. It's not the type of vibe that I'm on for real. I just want to take care of myself. And if that offends people around me, then that's a clear indication that maybe this is somebody that doesn't need to be in my circle. Which leads me to the point, setting boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Creating boundaries. Super important as a Black woman, super important as a person in general. You have to set boundaries, because if you don't, people will moonwalk, quite literally moonwalk all over you, and they will take advantage of you, and they will use and abuse you until there's nothing left for you, and then they'll go on to the next person. They're like leeches. So I have to set boundaries for myself, set boundaries with my family, set boundaries with my friends, set boundaries with my boyfriend, my team, man, my assistants. Like I just create boundaries throughout my entire life, and that's another thing that I'm able to control. So just having as much control over my life is something that has really helped me, and I feel like has kind of progressed my healing journey by eons. Like I feel like I'm really getting further in my healing journey every day that I create a boundary and that I set a boundary, because I just have a tendency to say yes all the time. I had a people-pleasing tendency growing up, because like I said, I wanted to fit in really bad, so I would do a lot of shit that was disrespectful to myself, disrespectful to my boundaries. I would do a lot of things that I was not comfortable with for the sake of making everybody else happy and just pleasing the people around me. So now in 2022, I'm saying no more. I know it sounds cliche, but it's something that really helps me. And like I said, just creating the boundaries.
No, seriously, like I really need to hear that too, because I also struggled with that growing up. And I know so many people watching this, especially if they were young and maybe shy, introverted, or even just had anxiety and depression growing up. As Black women, you get labeled stuck up because people are like, oh, why isn't she talking? Why isn't she speaking? You get labeled all these things from your family and so many different things. So those boundaries are important. And
exactly.
Those are really important. Did you ever listen to any like daily mantras or like affirmations? If you're comfortable sharing, like what are some daily affirmations that you think are helpful for maybe people who are going through the same thing to tell themselves in this?
I have these affirmation cards, and I pull one a day, and I sit it up on this little thing. It's like a picture frame thing, but it has like this clip, right?
I like the glitter. It's giving like, I like the sparkles.
One that I pulled today said, "Today I am powerful. Today my potential to succeed and conquer challenges is limitless." So I pull one of those affirmation cards every single day. I still watch. There's this man. His name is Tom Billahue on YouTube, and he has all these different people. He has this segment called the Impact Theory, and he invites all these different people, and they just share their experiences growing up and how they were able to get to a certain stature in life, and that is super motivational for me. He invites like different scientists, like just a range of people. Like Megan Good was on there. He has like neuroscientists on there who are able to break down the science behind depression, anxiety, the chemical imbalance, and how you can actively work against that. And so that podcast really helps me. There's this Black woman on YouTube. Her name is Love My Natural, if I'm not mistaken. She's always on there. She's fire. She's always on there. Just be a better woman. Just be a stronger, more confident, more secure woman. Confident and secure in your relationships, friendships, family relationships, everything. So that really helps me. And just TikTok. Like my TikTok feed is my algorithm is Black women, successful Black women talking about their healing journeys, talking about how they were able to get to a certain point in their life. And it's not that I'm obsessed with like, oh, getting richer, I want to be the richest. Like, it's not that. It's just I want to see
happiness.
Exactly. I want to see myself continue to grow, continue to elevate, because I know that's something that that's just a personal goal for me. Like, I just want to continue to see myself become a happier person. I want to continue to see myself put one foot in front of the other, because I have a tendency to just get very complacent sometimes. And so I really like watching things that just kind of lights a fire up under my ass and make me feel like, okay, let me get back to work. Like, let me start working towards my so those are just a few podcasts that I love, but literally I just go on YouTube, positive affirmations, how to be confident. Like, still to this day, I was just looking at how to be confident TikToks last night.
I was just watching one on, like, it was about like how to attract or like increase your aura so that it attracts just like the positivity that you crave. Like, TikTok is a lifesaver.
TikTok is a lifesaver. So and it's because of Black women and just Black creatives on TikTok. I feel like there was a point in time where TikTok really didn't value Black creatives, and I remember at that time that was the reason why I did not get on TikTok, because I'm just like, okay, they don't appreciate Black creatives, what the fuck I'm gonna do on TikTok? And then they started, they made a conscious effort to do better with valuing and highlighting Black creators. And I actually have I'm getting ready to go on a panel, a TikTok panel later on this month. And so I'm excited to just bring that up to them as well, and just, remind them, hey, this was my introduction to TikTok. So what are you guys doing to make sure that you continue to shine light on Black creators? So TikTok has definitely been, I've had my feelings about TikTok, but now I'm really appreciative. In 2022, I'm super appreciative of TikTok because it helps me a lot.
It does. It helps with grounding, and it helps with kind of like getting out of your head sometimes. And it also, like, I feel like it really transformed the wellness industry, because prior to that, the wellness industry was all about just like marketing, being happy and just smile and kind of like get through it. But on TikTok, people are talking about like the healing journey it's not a pretty thing. It's not a pretty process. A lot of times it's not something that can be commercialized. Like, it's not just do a face mask every night and force yourself to smile, but people don't see that that's just one small aspect of it. A lot of times the healing journey is something that can change your personality for different time periods. It's something that, I found personally, it can be a little isolating, since we might not connect with all the old people we used to connect to. It's not, we might not interact, or we might not accept and tolerate the old communication styles, attachment styles that we used to adapt to. So it can be scary, it can be isolating, and that period of the healing stage is, I think, where we're just like reevaluating all of our relationships, and it can be intense, but it's rewarding. So I guess my question would be like, what would you say your support system, like outside of TikTok, when dealing with that phase of feeling isolated? How do you kind of like self-support? Or if you even feel isolated, that might not be your journey.
No, definitely. I definitely feel that way a lot of the time. But I also do self-isolation because I really enjoy my own space. And sometimes I feel like I'm around so many different people and so many different opinions that my opinion will start to get lost. Or my own thoughts will start to get lost, or I'll start second guessing my own thoughts and opinions. And I saw something on TikTok last night that said, close the door, hold on.
Oh, no worries.
Stop second guessing your thoughts. It's a good idea, period. And I was like, wow, I really needed to hear that. But aside from that, like, my support system really consists of my family, my siblings, my cousins, my parents, my grandparents, my friends, my boyfriend and his family as well. They're kind of like my extended family. So that's what my support system consists of. And I also am very candid with my support system about what I need and how they can support me, because I feel like that's very important. Just telling people how, like, what your love language is and how you need to be loved and how you need to be supported. Because I feel like some people just only know to support one way, but just knowing yourself. But I feel like you figure that out once you figure yourself out. You know what you like and what you don't like, and just being open, honest, candid about your, like, what your preferences are, what your love language is, how you want to be appreciated, how you want to be supported. what to do in a crisis situation, what to do when you're dealing with a depressive episode, what to do when you're dealing with anxiety, like that whole thing. Like just letting people around you know how they can help you, I feel like is extremely beneficial.
Right. No, it definitely is, and I feel like I'm the same way. I really prefer being alone sometimes, but I know that a lot of people have ways like, oh, sometimes it can get very like it can get a little bit isolating. So, like you said, getting in touch with yourself, and really feeling comfortable in that quietness and that stillness. And I know so just like two more questions actually. So I noticed on TikTok you do a lot of color themed days. Like you recently did like a green themed day, which is really cool. You said how like the mint opened your senses and it brought you like clarity, which I know is true because I take a lot of like essential. I use a lot of essential oils. I also take some like vitamins a lot of times. So I'll take like vitamin D and magnesium, which like a lot of Black people in general like tend to lack in vitamin D, so take those supplements. Everyone watching this, take your supplements. But how would you say like incorporating different herbs and elements in your day-to-day routine has kind of like been helpful for you and your experience with like tapping into your different senses?
It's been really, really, really helpful when like just doing my research and figuring out. Well, first I would just look up like what it is that I'm struggling with. Like I'm struggling with anxiety and depression. What supplements, what vitamins can I take that help with that? And vitamin D obviously helps, and the same with vitamin C. Just citrus scented, citrus flavored, anything involving oranges, lemons, like just citrus fruits. Was really, I read that it was really helpful. So I'm still actively taking these vitamins, actively like going outside. Every morning I walk to the park with my boyfriend and we take some bread, and there's some ducks that be around there doing their thing. So every morning we wake up and we get out of the bed before 12 p.m. Just to say that we're up in the morning. Sometimes I get up at 11:59, but as long as I'm up before the afternoon,
as long as you're up before noon.
Exactly. So I get up at 11:59 some days, and we go and walk to the park and we feed the ducks and we get a lot of sunlight, we sweat, kind of get a little exercise in. I go home, I drink lemon tea, just different things, and then I take all of these different vitamins and supplements. It's like a whole different, it's like this array of various different vitamins that I take. So I feel like I've definitely been seeing a change in just my mood and my energy level. I feel like I'm a lot more energetic, and then just consistently drinking more water, because I feel like I haven't really been drinking as much water as I should be drinking. And so now I'm drinking more water, making sure I stay hydrated. And I really do feel like that has helped a lot with my energy level, and my energy level has kind of helped with my clarity, because now I can just think more clearly, right? When I'm eating healthier, my body is cleaner. I feel like my mind is cleaner. When my mind is cleaner, everything else is clean. Because I feel like I really struggle with cleaning up my thoughts. I really struggle with, that's just kind of what anxiety is, struggling with these thoughts in your mind. Same with depression, struggling with these thoughts in your mind that nobody else can see or hear. It's just your own inner thoughts. Sometimes you're, saying bad things about yourself, or sometimes you're internalizing different things that were said about you, or you're worrying about all of these outside factors that you don't have any control over. So cleaning up my mind was the biggest, and still is. It's going to be the biggest challenge for me. But like I said, one step at a time, one day at a time. But it's been helpful. So definitely I'm with you on taking the vitamins. I'm with you on that. First I didn't believe it. I was like, girl, bullshit.
You're like, this does not work. It's crazy because I was kind of the same way at first until like, it's like trial and error. Like some stuff really does not work. But
yes, stuff is like the placebo effect.
Yeah, placebo. Exactly.
Yeah. What efficiency is, and once you figure that out and you start taking you start taking things that you need, then it's like, okay, it's like a totally different range.
It is, yeah, because that's literally it. Like once I found out I had a vitamin D deficiency, and then all these other things were like things that cause anxiety, cause depression. That's when I was like, okay, let me try to target this, and then let me also experiment with some like acupuncture or Reiki and like stuff like that, and see what works. But
Right.
and also prescription, like that. Don't want to forget that prescription is probably most important too, because that really targets it and gets to
Exactly. I definitely take my prescription medication every morning, and it definitely helped me. But it also has helped me because I opened my mind up to it. I feel like when I was taking it when I was younger, I always told myself, this shit don't work. This shit ain't never worked. It was working. And it might have been working, but I didn't believe that it was working because I was so fixated on the fact that it wasn't going to work. I thought I was just a lost cause, and I thought I was like too far off. So I was like, no, this shit don't work. But now as an adult with a more open mind and a more open spirit, I feel like these things are really helping me, and I'm allowing them to help me because I deserve that.
For sure. No, for sure. For so long, I was against prescription because I feel like that was just what my family was so against. Like, Black people are always like, oh, well, not all the time, but some families will.
A lot of Black people.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, totally against that. So, you know, I feel like I'm glad the new generation, especially Gen Z, is really like big into that and just taking care of themselves. And another movement that I kind of really love is like this whole Black girl luxury and like soft life. Yep, a lot of people are embracing. It's just so good to see like Black girls living their best life and not kind of like overextending themselves for others' comfortability. So I'm just and I know you post a lot of stuff like that too. So like, and you live and kind of walk in that truth as well. So what is a soft lifestyle mean to you, and why do you think it's important for other young Black girls to really embrace that?
A soft life for me, I would say, it's not necessarily like, or a soft luxurious lifestyle, it's not necessarily like, you know, like shit that you can buy. Right. It's just about comfortable, and it's about walking in your purpose, walking in your light, walking in your truth, most importantly, and putting yourself first. That's what a soft, Black luxurious life is to me. So whatever it is, like, and just waking up every day and making sure that if nobody has a good day, you have a good day. And so every day I make sure that I wake up and I make sure that I have a good day. Even though I have a lot of people that are dependent upon me, I still have to make sure that I have a good day at the end of the, like when all is said and done, I need to make sure that I'm still having a good day. Right. And that's just what soft luxury, like whatever that consists of, whether it be going to get your feet done, nails done, hair done, makeup done, taking yourself on a shopping spree, indulging in your favorite foods, reading your favorite book, scrolling on TikTok, looking at your favorite thing. Whatever it is that makes you happy, whatever it is that satisfies you, I feel like that's conducive to a soft, luxurious life.
For sure.
It's subjective.
Yeah,
it's subjective.
Yeah, it definitely is wholly subjective. Like what might be one person's idea is completely different. So, you know, I'm just glad everyone's kind of like on their own path and following that. And we are out of time, but I do just want to thank you so much for, you know, all the wonderful gems and advice that you dropped. And I know that this is, I know our audience is going to be so excited to hear all this. Yes.
I'm hoping that it's as helpful for them as it was for me. Again, this is just, we're just gonna have to start doing this more often. You know, we should. Like, interview, I've done a lot of interviews, and it never feels like an interview. It feels like we're talking. Like we're just having about things that are important and things that we probably know subconsciously in the back of our mind, but just being able to talk about those things out loud
is so freeing.
It changes the atmosphere. So I'm really appreciative of this opportunity. Thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Your platform. I can't wait to see this grow bigger and better. I think you should have Flo on. Let me know if you need me to help you make that happen, because I definitely think you should have Flo on here. But I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. No, that, like, I don't want to cry, but just like it really does mean a lot. And it's always good to connect and talk about this because, like I said, it's kind of like two lights recognizing people recognize each other.
Okay, yay!